Greetings, my name is Dinawa Khatebe. I'm going to do a multiplication for grade 4 learners. Today my lesson will be focusing on multiplication and showing you two methods that I will be using, which is lattice method and breaking down method. So what I did here, I took 15 times 6 and then I broke down 15 and then it make 10 plus 5 and then times 6 at the side, and then I say 10 times 6 and then put my bracket plus and bracket 5 times 6 and then is equal to 10 times 6 is 60 plus 5 times 6 is equal to 30. So I added these two and then I got 90 and then that's my answer. So going on my lattice method, I did the same thing to make sure if I get the same answer. So I'm going to draw my box right now for my lattice. This is how we draw it. Sorry about that. I'll write 15 on the top and then 6 at the side, and then I'll say 6 times 5, which is 30, and then 1 times 6, which is 0.6, right? And then I'll take my 0 down and then plus 6 and 3, which is 9, and then down and then 90. Next to my number 2, I said 15 times 5, which I'd say 10 times 5, close bracket, plus 5, and then I said 10 times 5 and then 10 times 5, bracket, and I put my plus and then open bracket and 5 times 5, close bracket, and then I times the 10 and the 5, 10 times 5, which is 50, and then I plus times 5 times 5, which is 25, and then I plus the 2 and then I got 75. Next to another one, which is lattice method, I drew my box. This is how I draw my box. I wrote 15 on top and then 5 on the side. 5 times 5, which is 25, and then 1 times 5, which is 5, and then I put my 5 down and plus 2 and 5, which is 7, and my answer is still 75. That's how we do it. And I was done. Next to my 2 digit with 2 digits, I broke down the 28, which is 20 plus 8, and then I made a mistake. They were supposed to be 20 times 8 and then plus there, and then I said 80 times 2 and then close bracket, and then I said 20 times 80, of which I will bring it down there. 20 times 80, close bracket, plus, I'll put my plus and then open bracket, 20 times 2 times 2 and then close bracket and plus, and then open bracket, 8 times 80, close bracket, and then plus, open bracket, 8 times 2. And then now it's time to calculate 20 times 18. So we are going to use the multiples of 8, which is 1600, 2 times 2, which is 4, and then I put my 0, 8 times 80. I'll do the multiples of 8 also until I reach 8, which is which will give me um a, which will give me 64, and then I add my 0, and then plus 8 times 2, which will give me 16, and then I plus all the numbers, and then that gives me, I'll plus 1600, that's my mistake, plus 40 plus 640 plus 16. And then you can still use a calculator if you want, but for grade 4s, it's mostly required to use your brain to calculate, using a paper, a number line. Maybe you will draw a number line, or you will do the addition method. So my answer here was wrong, so I had to fix it. So moving to my second method, which is lattice method. Here I draw my box, and then I wrote 28 on top, and then 82, and then I would say 8 times 8, which will give me 64, and then 2 times 8, which will give me 16. 8 times 2, 16. 2 times 2, which is 0, 4. And then I'll bring my 6 down because there's no number that I can add with. So my 6 will be down. That's where I realized my mistake. So I'll plus all the numbers in this row, which is 4 plus 1 plus 4, which is 9. And then that row, which is 6 plus 6, and then plus 0, which is going to be 11. And then 12, no, sorry, 12. And then I added my 1 there. I create my 1, and then which will give me 2. That's why I realized my mistake. So I had to cancel. My calculation here was bad, but at least I saw my mistake. It's important for someone to make it's important for someone to realize their mistakes. So this was my answer. My answers now are the same. And then going to number B, which is 48 times 44, and then I said 40 plus 8, and then also here I made a mistake. 40 times plus 4, and then 40 goes to 40, and then I'll bring that down, and then I'll say 14 times 40, close bracket, plus, and then I also take 40 to the 4, and then write it down. 40 times 4, close bracket, and then next to the 8, I'll say 8 times 40. 8, this is my 8, times 40, close bracket, and then I add a plus, and I'll take my 8 again, and then to the 4, and 8 times 4, and then close bracket, and then say 40 times 40, which is going to be 4, 8, 12, 16, which is going to be 1600 plus 160. I said 40 times 40 times 4, and then it gave me 160. And then now I'm moving to 8 times 40, which I would do the multiples of 8, or you can just add 8 4 times, and then you get your answer, which is 320. And then I added, I also multiplied 8 times 4, and then which gave me 32. And then I added all the numbers, and I got 2112. That's my answer. Moving to the next method. Which is lattice or Napier's bones. That's how we draw a box. Many kids fail to draw this lattice method. 48, 44 at the side, and then 4 times 8. Right, 4 times 8, which will give us 32, and then 4 times 4, which will give us 16. And then moving forward, 8 times 4, 32, 4 times 4, 16. And then you bring your 2 down, and then you add 2 plus 3, which is 5, plus 6, which is 11, and then you carry your 1 to the next side, and then which is 4, and then 6 plus 1, which will give us 11, and then I carried my 1, and then I added they, which gave me 2, and that was my final answer. That's how we do it. If you fail to multiply, just use these methods. Bye.